Hello, and welcome to Hats and Gloves VR. Today, we are going to be taking a look at two different head straps from the same manufacturer. This is the BOBO VR head strap, and they're very similar. There are some differences, though. The main difference is that one comes with a hot swappable magnetic battery, and one doesn't. So let's go ahead and take a look at both of these and see if they're any good. Alright, I am just going to use my ottoman to show off these headsets. The first one that we're going to look at is the BOBO VR M2. This is the head strap without the battery. There's not a lot in the box. There is a really brief brochure on just what the different parts are, but it's really not a whole lot. Here's the head strap. What you do get with the non-battery version that you don't get with the battery is this, which is an additional head strap that can be threaded through here, and there's Velcro. You would attach it like such, like this. So if you wanted an additional support, you could have it here. I'm just going to remove this for now. Okay, so let's take a closer look at this head strap. Here's what it's like on the Quest, so that you can kind of just get an idea. So this is the front of it. These little black rails are where the Quest speaker rails slide into. Okay. And then you have the back with the normal crank that is very common amongst different head straps. And then you got this main point of articulation here. You also have this point here. This point does not move. It's just static. It's just attached. So the main selling point for this headset is right here, which is the forehead cushion and then these two additional cushions for the top of your head. And the idea behind this head strap is similar to the one that Sony, the cushions that Sony had for the PlayStation VR. The idea is that you share the clamping force between your forehead, support from the top head, and then you also get support from the facial interface on the Quest itself. And that by combining these different surface areas, you can have the goggles be stable on your head without too much clamping force. So please disregard my face oils on the Quest. I just put it on. I just got home from a day of work. So what you want to try to accomplish with this headset is that you want to adjust the headset in such a way that the forehead cushion is utilized as well as the Quest's cushion itself. And I'll show you how to do that here in a second. But real quick, a couple last things about the M2, so non-battery, is that instead of getting the battery rail, in this version it is absent. You just get this little place to thread that additional strap. So again, this head strap is not compatible with the BOBO batteries at all. That said, if you wanted to attach your own battery, I mean, you could, especially in tandem with this. I know that different companies make here, hold on a second. So here's an example. This is a Nintendo Switch external battery that I've had for a couple years. And theoretically, you could imagine with some more zip ties or something, attaching this to this head strap and then using it here. This is something pretty common that you do see from time to time for the Quest. So maybe that's something that you want to consider doing. I do like this headset a lot. I'll talk more on my impressions about it later, but let's quickly take a look at the battery version and what the differences are. So one of the differences is that you have a cord that comes through here. And the other big difference is obviously the battery, which we'll get to, and this magnetic battery rail, or whatever you want to call it. So here's what the battery looks like. As you can see, there are 6 pins of contact that it makes with the battery, and then here are the magnets. There's a button here that you can press to turn it on and check to see your battery status, and then a USB Type-C charging port. So you simply turn it on, attach it. It makes a beeping noise to let you know that it is charging. The cord is long enough that you can completely open this thing up, but it's short enough that you don't have too much slack. The headset does have a little cable management feature right in here that you probably can't see. It's a little plastic clip that holds this cable in place, which will prevent it from moving down like I just did there. But yeah, pretty much this is what your cable is going to look like. It's not a big deal to me as far as cable management goes. Usually when I have the headset on, I don't really care that much about what I look like. Hence the googly eyes. Aside from that, I think those are the main differences. There's no place on this headset to thread a strap through. So again, with the battery headset, you don't get the extra strap, and there's also no place to thread a strap of your own. So just bear that in mind when you make your purchasing decision. Alright, I think we're ready to go back out to the other camera view, and I will kind of show off what it's like to wear these things. Okay, now I want to talk about what it's like to actually wear these things. It can be a little complex to get the fitting right, but hopefully with my instructions, you'll be able to get a really good fit without too much hassle. So, again, to recap, the main idea behind this headset is to share the clamping pressure between your VR facial interface, whether that's the Quest or a third-party one like this, and to share the clamping force between this and the forehead cover and the 2 additional things here. So these plastic rails here have like rubber grommets in them that allow you to slide in and out the Quest itself. So I suggest first sliding the Quest this way and the clamps that way. And I'll tell you why here in just a second. Next, there's a Velcro strap here that will thread through the goggles itself, and you'll need to remove your facial interface to do that. But BOBO does recommend that you leave the forehead strap kind of low and close to the goggles like this. But the first thing you're going to want to do is put on the headset, and you're going to want to focus on the forehead cushion and the top cushion as well, and you want them to be making, you know, even contact between all 3 of them. And then you'll expand this, bring it down to mid skull, and then you'll tighten it, not too tight. And then at this point, this is where I will take these little slides, and then I'm going to slide the Oculus itself towards my face until my facial interface cushion is giving me some good snug clamping force, but not too much. So kind of like that, kind of so it feels even. Again, you want these things to be even. All this cushioning, you want it to have an even clamping force. Also, you have the Quest's pivot point here as well. You can kind of see it like that. So if you're getting marks on your nose or your cheeks, you might want to pivot this point here so that more pressure goes on your forehead, and vice versa. If you're getting a line right here, you want to pivot it the other way. So take your time. It can take a little bit of finagling to get it just right, but trust me, once you get this thing fitted, it's like a dream. It works really well. I think I officially have headset hair. So I want to talk about something before I get to my impressions, and that is weight. So having the headset with the battery adds additional weight. You can see it here. It's not extremely heavy, but I mean, here you can see just doing that adds weight. And what adding more weight does, whether it's on the goggle side or the battery side, is that it creates more inertia, I think is the word I want to use. What I mean by that is that by having a battery on the back, if you're moving your head and turning really quickly, the headset is going to have a higher tendency to shift and move around, which means that you'll probably end up tightening the headset even more, which might be uncomfortable. This is something that you need to keep in mind, is that batteries are great because you can have longer play sessions, but there's going to be more inertia. That's one of the great things about the head strap that the Oculus comes with, is that if you have it set up just right, there's very little inertia, and if you can just get the goggles clamped to your head, you should be somewhat good to go. So this headset is very light, not just because it doesn't have the battery, but this headset doesn't have these magnets, it doesn't have this row of pins, doesn't have the cord, so it's considerably lighter. I don't have a scale to compare, but you just need to keep that in mind. Something else that I want to bring up with the battery head strap is the charging procedure. So you might want to think about how you're going to top off both the Quest and the battery. And maybe you'll have an additional Type-C cord with a wall block near your Quest so you can top them both off. I will say, and I don't recommend doing this, but if you plug in the battery while it's detached and then wait to see that the LEDs are charging, that it's indicating that it's charging, and then put the battery on the Quest, your battery will continue to charge and it will top off your headset. Now, I don't recommend doing this because with other examples, like with this switch battery by Anker, this battery actually won't let you draw power and deliver power simultaneously. That's for safety reasons. Potentially the battery could get hot if it's delivering and receiving power at the same time. That said, I've been daisy chain charging these two devices overnight, and I've had no problems. The battery doesn't get hot, the headset doesn't get hot, the wall block doesn't get hot. It might charge slower, but these are for like overnight charges, so that's not an issue. So again, I do not recommend daisy chain charging these, but I'm probably still gonna do it unless any of these things get hot and start to sketch me out. Okay, so my overall impressions is that this is a really good headset. They kind of took the idea that the PlayStation VR had, and it works really well. Again, out of the box, it's not going to be amazing because it's going to take a little bit to get the fitting just right. But yeah, after you get the fitting right, it works really well. It does add substantial weight, and I will say that it does cause that the battery being back here, you know, there's more of a likelihood that the goggles are going to shift from side to side. But again, if you can get these cushions to be seated just right, like I'm trying to do right now, it's going to help avoid that. There, that's a little bit better. Yeah, and then with one twist, you can make the adjustment from clamping to taking it off, which is really nice. I'm assuming other headsets do that as well. It is a big head strap. They make a case, which I also have here. So there is a BOBO VR case as well that has molding for the Quest and enough room for the BOBO head strap and the battery head strap as well. And then a little pouch for cables. You can fit your wall block in here, and you can place your touch controllers here. This is a pretty nice case. Yeah, it's even got like a pretty nice looking zipper design as well. I think that's really all I have to say about this. If you've made it this far into the video, thanks for watching. I just very recently started this YouTube channel, so consider subscribing to go along with this journey with me. Also, I have a podcast called Seeing Eye to Eye, a virtual reality podcast that is now on nearly all podcast places, whatever you call them. Podcast hosts like Spotify, Apple, Amazon, Stitcher, iHeartRadio. So if you like podcasts, you want something to listen to while you're commuting to work, it's Seeing Eye to Eye, a virtual reality podcast. Also, the episodes get published on YouTube as well. So thanks again for watching. Consider subscribing, and if you like this video and found it useful, give me a thumbs up. Also, did you buy a BOBO VR headset? What are your thoughts about it? Leave them in the comments down below. What do you think about attaching a battery onto the headset? Does inertia ever bother you? Let me know in the comments down below. I'm curious. All right. Well, thanks again, and I'll see you in the next video.